If you've ever been a renter, you know it's stressful to find a place with everything you love and nothing you don't. But did you know Zillow does rentals? It makes the search so easy. They have filters for pretty much everything, so you can find that place that's in your budget, but also isn't a shoebox. Or a place that's close to your parents, but far enough they have to call first. Plus, it's easy to apply, request tours, and pay rent in the app. Head to ZillowRentals.com and find your sweet spot.
Grand Carnival is taking over Kings Island from July 17th through August 1st. Experience the opening celebration at 5 p.m. when the park erupts with sights, sounds, and flavors from all around the world. Join the spectacle of color, a dazzling parade of floats, performers, music, and beats that sweeps across the park. And enjoy unique food, drinks, and fireworks while dancing to music until the park closes. Don't miss the celebration as big as the park. Right now, everyone pays kids' price. Kings Island tickets just $45 online.
This podcast is a member of the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network. Visit voicesofwrestling.com to hear the rest of our great podcasts, as well as show reviews, columns, opinions, and updates across the world of wrestling.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Super J-Cast. I'm Joel, joined by Damon McDonald. We just off the air, Damon, talking about things that we like. There's always some positivity. I'm so happy that I've got my PS4 back because we're kind of under quasi-lockdown here, but I don't care because I've got two things I'm happy about. One, my PS4, and two, a kitchen. So I'm doing a lot of cooking, having a great time fucking about with fancy recipes to use up my stocks of instant ramen. And also playing some great new games on my PlayStation. I'm playing Persona 5. I'm having some late night sessions with a new Resident Evil Village game, which is terrifying and amazing. So I'm having a blast with those things. What about you, Damon? What are you enjoying at the moment?
Well, right now, Joe, I'm on a ventilator.
The people needed to hear that voice.
I didn't take everything seriously, Joe. And now I'm lying in a bed and I mean, we really should think about recording the pre's. You know,
as soon as the Skype call connects, we should just hit record straight away.
Hit record. Yeah. Well, first, Joe, I wasn't feeling so good. Now, what a life we live! What a life we live here in this world. What a wonderful life, right? You got your PS4, playing some video games. We here in the States, New Jersey at least, we got just about everybody with a little vaccine in them, and life is coming back to normal rather quickly. We have people and we have pro wrestling events. We had a pro wrestling event at the 2300 Arena. I did not attend. I had no desire whatsoever. That's the thing. You know what this did? It made me, this being the past 2 years, it made me really think about what is important to me. Right? It really did. And now that things open up and it's like, do I really want to go to this thing? Do I really want to, you know? There was a hidden benefit. And I say this during a pandemic, mind you, where terrible things occurred. At least from a personal standpoint, I will say. A lot of built-in excuses of, I can't go. I can't do this. I can't do that. I don't want to do this. I can't go see this person. It really was a nice little built-in. I'm gonna say something very truthful. The isolation from people, it didn't really bother me at all. In fact, I enjoyed it.
That's it, isn't it? Like, COVID has been good for us introverts, hasn't it?
Yes! Oh, my God. Sorry, I'm having a swig. Yes. I cannot tell you how much I enjoy just not having that social responsibility. I saw exactly the people who I wanted to see, when I wanted to see them, under very quick circumstances. Lovely. And now that we're opening back up, and things are. I'll put in the air quotes. Getting back to normal here, Joel. I'm somewhat jealous of the fact that you still have some restrictions in which you can still enjoy that privacy and the quietness and the solitude of being alone. Oh, I am a little jealous of that.
It is nice. I'm making up for lost time with those two things that I mentioned, which I was deprived of during the hotel phase of my life. But now, Esther's got a bigger space to play in. We are living opposite a Japanese second-hand store because the Japanese population of Bangkok is quite transient, so people come and go, and when they leave, they sell all their stuff to this second-hand shop. Ooh. So every day you get a load of new stuff coming in, sold at very, very cheap prices. So we, just little things like Mally managed to get this sort of toy kitchen set for Esther for like $15. Which would have cost about 10 times that amount had we bought it new. So just little things like that is making it quite nice, in our new home with all stuff to do. And it's quite restful and relaxing here. The only thing that I am regretting at the moment is that I'm sort of 99% sure that come the start of the next school year for my new employers in mid-August, it's going to be online, which is a shame because I haven't been inside a classroom since January 2020.
Wow.
Which is insane. As a school teacher, having not been inside a classroom and not taught face-to-face kids for 18 months and counting is just crazy. So that is one thing I really want to get back and start doing my job properly. But aside from that, we're doing all right here.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, this is a very small, tiny, tiny slice of the overall picture of what has happened to this world. But yeah, just from a small personal perspective, I do enjoy that part. Like I don't know. I didn't mind it at all. I will say this, and I do want to mention this, that some of the content that I have seen in recent weeks from Joel and his Instagram account, and even his lovely wife, who posts some of the most adorable footage of baby Esther. Correct me if I'm wrong, Joel. How Do You Do is a hit that is sweeping across the world. This is a massive, massive hit. This is the hit of the summer. This is the song of the summer. Right? Song of the summer.
This is nursery rhymes book that my mum sent us from the UK. And I spent hours and hours and hours tracking down audio tracks, like the songs to go with it, because there's a lot of sort of old-timey nursery rhymes in this book that I don't know. So I made this YouTube playlist, downloaded all the audio files from it, made a playlist on my phone so we can have the music to go along with it. And that has just been an absolute joy for all of us, but specifically Esther, she's at that age where her brain is just a little sponge and is soaking up everything, stuff that you teach her directly, stuff that she's just observing. And a lot of these songs, like Two Fat Gentlemen Met in the Lane or Tommy Thumbs.
No, you have to sing. You have to sing. This is a build-up to an exclusive live performance of this song. And I was hoping that the great baby Esther can maybe make a debut here on the Super J-Cast.
I can't do that. The reason I can't do that is because if I bring her into the room to do this little cameo, then there's the process of when that's finished saying, right, get out, closing the door behind her, and she'll hate that. So I kind of have to sort of sneak off here to do it. Because if she sees me go into this room and close the door, then just like Scampi and Gati, she wants to be involved. She wants to be in the process. She wants to be in the room. So I'll see what I can do in the future. But it's a no-go for now. But her new phrase, just everything. How do you do? How do you do? It's such a funny little thing for her to have picked up. But it's a crowd pleaser every time she, we see our friends in the park or whatever. She's going out to, how do you do? And they're like, wow, that's amazing.
She does say that to everybody now. Oh,
she says it all the time.
Please
record.
Little
little phrases coming out all the time. How do you do? Clap, clap, hands is one.
Okay.
And there's a song about sausages in a pan, where when one of the sausages goes bang, and she claps her hands. So she's walking around clapping her hands, going bang, bang for the sausages exploding. So that is my life. Like, these nursery rhymes are just seared into my brain. Like, I'm lying awake at night with these songs playing in my head and waking up screaming, thinking of two Dicky Birds and Humpty Dumpty and the Grand Old Duke of York. That's my life now.
Let me tell you something. Again, if we could just put it online. Just put it, and...
Well, look, people are welcome to look me up on Instagram if they want to see it.
Yep.
It's Super Joelcast on Instagram if you want to follow.
Unbelievably great. Definitely worth it. First of all, you will play these songs 1,000 times. And she's just sitting there, just a big smile on her face. And Joel, pops through a couple of lyrics, and then the hook, the "How do you do?" She's right there. How do you do? And I kid you not, it is the most adorable thing in the world. And I played it 1,000 times, and I love it. So maybe we can get a performance. Can we do like the sausage song, and then can we close with "How do you do?" Right? And also,
I can do that as a separate recording and maybe add it on to the podcast.
Right? Yes. We play it every fucking day. Every day we play it.
Could that be the new theme song for the podcast? Get rid of the Hiroshi Hase thing, and replace it with 5 fat sausages or 2 fat gentlemen, and that gets every single episode.
That'd be so great. I would love the show more. And I'm sure Rich and Joe would love it because they don't have to get that fucking copyright infringement thing every time they pop this thing on YouTube. I still forget that they do that. They put this show up on YouTube. I never listen to it on YouTube. That frightens me. I don't like it on YouTube, to be honest with you. Hey, did we get any good feedback from our shitty show last week? Speaking of feedback.
Yeah. I think Joel from 2018 would have been the sort of person to put people on blast for giving us shitty 1-star reviews, but 2021 Joel just looks at them and laughs and maybe shares them with a few people and gets on with his life. So I don't know if it's something I want to bring up on the podcast, but just suffice to say, if you are the sort of person who's getting upset enough by things we say on the podcast that you are logging on to iTunes and giving us a 1-star review and shitty comments, then you are making me smile. You're giving me a good chuckle and making my day a little bit brighter. And I mean that. So keep it up. Keep going.
And let it be known.
If you think you're upsetting us, you're very much mistaken.
Yeah. No, as a matter of fact, you're doing the opposite. And you're making what you're doing is that makes that when that alarm goes off at 5 o'clock in the morning for me, it makes me like, it puts a little bit more pep in my step.
It's vindicated because we're upsetting all the right people, and that just gives me life and joy.
Yeah, the worst thing you could do would be nothing. The worst thing you could do would be nothing, because now it's like, you mouth breather. Can I do an imitation of that person? It's probably say, "Hey, everybody, I'm listening to pro wrestling podcast. Right now, I'm hooked up to a ventilator." Because I didn't take COVID seriously. And I'm listening to this guy, Joel Abraham. And he says, England, they acted like fools. And then I didn't appreciate that. Even though I have no connection to England whatsoever. I'm from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. I just made that up. That's just a random place I'm from. And my name, I'm not going to give you my name because I believe this is a conspiracy against the internet. Is a conspiracy. The internet is a conspiracy.
It needs more wheezing. There's got to be more wheezing.
More wheezing? Oh, I can't. All right. My lungs are in perfect health. I have a vaccine. I'm going to give my picks to the New Japan Cup now.
That's our mate. We love that guy.
I'm a guy. I'm not doing a guy. Do you love my character? You love my character?
Yeah, it's a completely fictionalized character.
Yes.
Any resemblance to real characters are purely coincidental.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. We would have won that World Cup if Harry Kane kicked every one of those kicks, right? It's Harry Kane, right?
He scored his
He did.
Actually,
He did. Maybe they got a point, Joel.
Which was really annoying. It would have been fun if he'd fucked up the decisive one, then that would have been great. But
you don't like him, do you?
it would have to be an Arsenal player who's missed the decisive one. But there you go. The season's about. So I'll tell you what, Damon, moving on, can I share something else with you that I've been really enjoying recently? And this
my
ties in with
imitation of a guy.
question.
My imitation of a guy who doesn't believe anything is real. That was what you. I'm sorry, get it.
Oh, man. Okay, so we got a question here from friend of the show, Sean, who says, "We'd love to hear your thoughts on the Nagoya Basho, the sumo, and the absolute thrilling drama leading up to the last day." So this has just been an absolute joy to watch. I know there's a few people listening who are also sumo fans, and there's just been this amazing story going into the last tournament where it's come down to two guys. There's this guy, Terunofuji, who is an Ozeki, which is the penultimate rank. It's the one rank below Yokozuna. And he was previously at that level, but had, I think, a really bad knee injury. I may have some things wrong. I apologise if I've got things wrong here. But when you get injured in sumo, you're fucked, basically. You lose your rank, you lose your salary, and you go right down to the bottom of the pile if you miss enough consecutive tournaments. So this guy went from being basically one step away from the top rank, from being Yokozuna, to going like right down to, I don't know, like Division 4 or something, barely salaried. So this guy, a lot of people in that position would have retired, but this guy, Terunofuji, he rehabbed himself and he worked his way back up through the divisions to get back up to where he was and win several consecutive tournaments and put himself in a position where if he were to win this tournament, he would get that Yokozuna promotion.
Okay.
But also returning to this tournament is this guy, Hakuho, who is the only remaining Yokozuna. There's one Yokozuna left, and it's this guy. And he is like the Lionel Messi of the sumo world, just an absolute once-in-a-lifetime talent. He's got more tournament wins than like the last three Yokozuna combined. He's got, I think it's 45 tournament wins, which is just obscene. He is just a once-in-a-generation talent. Like I don't think we will ever see a guy like him in sumo again. Just complete world-class elite athlete, like
Damon,
arguably the greatest ever. Right. So these two guys are going into this tournament, and it's all about them. As the days go past, they are racking up these streaks, and we get to the final day where both guys are 14-0, unbeaten, and it's just coming down head to head. Terunofuji versus Hakuho, and there's some talk maybe Terunofuji, even if he doesn't win the tournament, even if he doesn't beat Hakuho, he might still get his Yokozuna promotion. But a lot of people looking at this like this could be a passing of the torch moment, because Hakuho, he's perhaps reaching the end of his career. A lot of people saying he's winding it down. He's just hanging on until he can appear in the Olympics, and then after the Olympics, he might retire. A lot of people expecting him to retire pretty soon, and he's not taking part in every tournament. He's being very selective about when he takes part, because if he's in the tournament, he's there to win. He wants to take home the trophy. So we've got this mouth-watering clash between these two guys with everything to play for, and you know what? I'm going to share it with you then. I would like you to watch it because it's very, very short. Sumo. One of the things I love about sumo is that it is. It doesn't last very long. So for someone like me with a very short attention span, but I wanted you to get an idea of the storylines going into this. These two guys, 14-0, going into the last day. So I've sent you the link. If you kind of skip to the 2-minute mark of this video, and I would love to hear.
I have it right here.
Just maybe a bit of commentary. Just talk us through what you're seeing at the moment.
All right. Well, let's see here. Let me. I'm going to make it wider screen. A lot of pomp and circumstance with the sumo. I do like that. Oh, it does look like a bat. They're just staring each other down, right? And they're going to. Are we going to fast forward a little bit more? 1 second. All right. Here we go. All right.
And the stare out's part of it, because you don't usually see that kind of stuff in sumo, but you could see Hakuho and Terunofuji really trying to psych each other out at the start of this, and that was one of the most interesting things, because usually they get down to business, but Hakuho, he's like, I'm the daddy, I'm not going down first. He's just looking at Terunofuji like, I'm your superior, you are going to go down first, I'm going to stand here and stare you right in the eye.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what,
one thing I'm looking at is like everyone from the back is looking at this match. You know what I mean? Like they're all, they're staring it down. Okay. And now they're, getting into that familiar. What do they call it? I don't know what it's called, but their sumo squat. Yeah, but there is a stare down right now. Yes.
Yeah, really just intense atmosphere watching
Yeah.
this.
Yeah,
It was like the Noah match that everyone was raving about with the stare, but this stare was actually good.
Yeah. I mean, the crowd is, they're, oh my God, there is a stare down here. Here we go. All right, now we're getting in position. Down they go. They're still staring, by the way. Wow, this is tight. All right. Here we go. And great radio, I know, but come on. Oof. All right, now fists are down on the white line, on the chalk line. Both down. Here we go. Oh, big slaps. Whoa. All right. Now they're locked up. Crowd's digging it. Oh. They're fighting for position. Oh, down he goes. That's it. Yeah.
And what was really special about this, you saw afterwards when Hakuho was the winner, and normally, sumo is all about the discipline and the sense of tradition and ceremony and keeping your cool and being professional. But after Hakuho won, you see him let out that roar, like, "Rah!" Like this
he wanted that
primal
win.
scream.
Yeah.
So it was just such a great moment. And just the fight was so intense, like the huge forearms, elbows and slaps in the face. It was like something out of a New Japan match. And the crowd just losing their minds. Like that crowd reaction for this, the pop from the crowd was louder than anything I've heard in New Japan since like Wrestle Kingdom 14. So just a tremendous, just like proper big boy Yokozuna sumo. And I mean, it turned out at the end of the day, Teruno Fuji, although he lost, he did get his Yokozuna promotion. So we got the first new Yokozuna for like 4 years, I think.
Wow.
So that's big news in and of itself. But even with Teruno Fuji getting his promotion, Hakuho saying, "I'm still the daddy." It was kind of reminded me of Wrestle Kingdom 9, where people are going in expecting / hoping this is going to be the passing the torch moment where Okada's going to take it. But no, Tanahashi wins, and he's like, "You're good, but I'm still the ace."
Yeah.
So that was just this really dramatic story going into the Sumo Basho, and just a real privilege to see a guy like Hakuho, and like a world-class athlete, still just tearing through people, still the best guy in the world, and just, I love sumo. It's good shit, Damon.
Yeah, man. I mean that was condensed, total match, we'll call it. It felt like it was like 30 minutes of action that was condensed into 10 seconds. And there was drama there, and I liked the backstory. That was cool. That was really good. Check it out. Seriously. I don't know if it's something that I don't know. Maybe I could, but that was a good clip. Listen, if you're going to sell somebody shit, that's the clip you use. That was good. That was really good.
It's very easy to consume sumo because they are bi-monthly tournaments, so you get 6 a year, and they last for 15 days. And I just watched the highlights. So every day it's like 18-minute YouTube highlights. And that's it. So it's just like 20 minutes out of my day for 2 weeks, every other month. And it's just a nice, easy way to consume something very quick. The matches are short. They keep my attention. Unlike New Japan Pro Wrestling, which we'll get on to now. What a segue.
Joel, so we'll peel back the curtain a little bit. Joel sends me a reminder because of my very busy lifestyle to here are the things we're going to cover on the show. Here's the things you got to make sure you watch. Do your best. So I get this list and I'm like, first I knew of some of the stuff I had already heard. I was like, what? I get this list and it's like, okay, I'm going to watch this. I don't think I've ever turned off a pro wrestling block and have been so perturbed. That's the word I'll use, perturbed, at what I witnessed. I could not, and it's not, and I guarantee it's not what you think. I was just left scratching my fucking head at New Japan just shoehorning in shit. This is a perfect example of just making it fit into this cookie cutter mold where things have to be a certain thing. We'll talk about it. We're getting into it. Here's you sat through 15 minutes of baby talk and sumo and a guy from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, who doesn't believe COVID's real. Now's the New Japan stuff. And now it's time to light a fire under our asses.
I want to read out the text message that you sent me, because as soon as I saw it, I was like, this is going to be a spicy show. Okay, so we are talking about the Summer Struggle show from Saturday, July 17th at Korakuen Hall. And we're going to skip straight to the top two matches. So fourth match, special singles match, Ryusuke Taguchi defeating Taiji Ishimori in 14 minutes 23 seconds via roll-up. And main event, fifth match, special singles match, Rocky Romero and El Fantasmo going to a 30-minute time limit draw. So we've got a pair of singles matches here to set up their junior tag title encounter coming up at the Tokyo Dome. And let me just read that. Can I read the text? Is that okay?
By all means.
So it's coming from Damon. Honestly, what the fuck am I watching with this dogshit Taguchi Ishimori garbage? Ishimori can't beat Taguchi in under 15 mins and loses to ass. Then a stink face. And then ELP can't beat Rocky in under 30 minutes. Clark Connors and Josh Alexander both pinned him in under 12 minutes on Strong. Taguchi's last singles match was a fucking year ago in Best of the Super Juniors. Just fucking garbage. So I hand over to you. Tell us more.
Thank you very much. So let me explain my thought process here. So as I summed up so eloquently in that text I sent to Joel, I was just annoyed to no end at the idea and the thought process that Taiji Ishimori, who, correct me if I'm wrong, Joel, I just got done watching him battle in a I would say a very good match against El Desperado for a junior heavyweight championship in a match that went close to 30 minutes. Am I wrong, Joel?
No, you're spot on. It was, I thought, a very good match, very competitive, very close. Two of the top guys in the division right now.
Yep. Okay, good. Just making sure I saw what I saw. Now we fast forward, and now we're at Korakuen Hall. And we are trying to set up a tag team title match in which we're going to separate the tag teams singles matches. And the returning Taguchi, the funky weapon, back in the ring. He has been in multiple multi-man tag matches in which he does not pick up the win, to be clear. He is a participant for a year. 1 year. August was his August again, where he defeated the great Doki and the best of the Super Juniors. Here he comes back in, looking in fantastic shape, by the way, ready to go. Now, this is in no way a knock, a ding, a laugh, a middle finger. It's in no way any of this to the actual in-ring performers, to be very clear. Because I know some of you people have difficulty following along. But I just want to point that out. This is not I'm not wagging a finger at the performance of any person in that ring. But what I'm saying is this. I'm supposed to believe that Taguchi, again, for a singles match, pushes to the limit Ishimori, a guy who's had plenty of singles matches and just came off one recently, and loses to a guy who, again, has not had a singles match in a year. It is largely a comedy act, but that one time a year, man, when he can put it all together and really make him... Again, the match, match is fine. It's the idea that I'm supposed to believe that Jimmy Valiant can take Barry Windham to 20 minutes. Is preposterous. You know, people complain about 50-50 booking. We all know what that means, right? This isn't 50-50 booking. This is placement on a show booking where if you're in this match, you have to go a certain amount of time and there's a certain expectation of what needs to happen. And there's no deviation from that plan. We can't have the second match go 5 minutes longer or the third match go 5 minutes longer to fill out the card. But it makes absolutely zero sense to me, as a fan of this product that has watched it for many years, that this match that there should be a struggle. You can make it somewhat competitive, but the idea that Ishimori, okay, not only loses, and again, the way he loses, whatever, fine. Do I want to see it? Absolutely not. But okay, we're going to see it. We're going to see the stink face, whatever. The fact that I have to seriously say to myself, oh, Taguchi, yeah, he's definitely a guy who can take Ishimori to the limit, is preposterous, right? There is a pecking order for a reason. And again, the same thing that I'm complaining about in some cases is I praise in the sense that they can tap anybody on the shoulder, they can have a good match. But this is not about having a good match. This is about the logic behind what they're presenting me. So there's that. That was ludicrous. Ishimori should be beating Taguchi in 10 minutes or 15 minutes? 15 minutes or less. Let's be honest. 12 minutes or less. That should not even be a discussion point, right? Now we follow up. Rocky, ELP. Rocky and ELP. Rocky Romero has, and again, this has nothing to do with the in-ring performance. Both guys are excellent at their craft. Fantastic. Rocky Romero on Strong, I don't think has had a match that went over 20 minutes. Right? On Strong, he gets his wins, singles matches. He gets some wins. But this is also the same guy who has lost to in the pecking order of New Japan Pro Wrestling. Again, under 12 minutes, Clark Connors, Josh Alexander. Under 12 minutes. Loss. This same Rocky Romero gets on a jet airplane, travels across the Great Pacific Ocean, lands in Tokyo, performs at Korakuen Hall in a main event, which means, of course, it's got to go at least 30 minutes, right? Of course it does. And ELP, El Phantasmo, who has had singles matches, he's been there, he's in the mix for the junior title. He's in the mix for the tag title.
Sorry, two-time Super J Cup winner.
Correct.
There's a guy who was challenging for the junior title at Wrestle Kingdom. So, speaking purely kayfabe, this is a guy who is supposed to be an elite junior heavyweight singles competitor.
Thank you, Joel, for pointing all that out, all of which is correct. This guy can't beat Rocky Romero in under 15 minutes. So now
30.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It went 30. But he can't do it in under 15, which he should be able to do. Right.
Okay. I see.
But this went double, Joel. We went double. Why? Why do we have to do this? It's so frustrating to me. The fact that just because they're on a certain spot of the show, they all of a sudden get these superpowers, or the other person turns into just a complete boob and can't beat a guy that...
I'm laughing because I knew you were going to say boob, and every time you say boob, it makes me giggle.
Good. Because what you had are just boob central. This was boobomania. Like, Again, this is not about the performances of...
Not in a good way. Not a good Boobomania.
These are terrible boobs. These are old, saggy, just terrible boobs. And that's saying something. That's like saying bad pizza. There's really no such thing as bad boobs. But
these are our boobs, Damon. These are our saggy men breasts.
My breasts are very supple. I'm not going to lie. You get my point, though, of why I turned off this show and was like, whoa, what am I doing? So nobody turns out good, right? So nobody like gets the rub and wow, away we go, right? What we did was we brought two guys who shouldn't be demoted. They're now demoted. And how can you look at those two guys seriously? I'm talking about Ishimori and ELP in anything else. Oh, they'll just change their mind, 2 weeks later and give them like it's crazy. Again, the thing that I do like about New Japan is that they are able to put people off the burner, able to put them on. This is not how. This is a ridiculous. You're trying to tell me that these guys can't put away these other guys in less than 15 minutes, and the fact that one of them didn't. One of them lost to a guy who hasn't had a singles match in a year. That is my biggest complaint with New Japan Pro Wrestling. It's preposterous. And again, did it make anyone more excited for the tag title match? No. It made it less for me. Like it really does. It just, I don't care because you told me I shouldn't care. So I'm not. I don't give a fuck. I'm done. All
right, well, I will give my thoughts. I mean, Taguchi versus Ishimori, I like the match. I like the story of Taguchi. They've got history together, and Taguchi's getting in Ishimori's head early on. Ishimori trying to counter Taguchi's hip attacks, and then Taguchi trying to counter the counters. I thought there were some good submission scrambles, the bone lock against the Omai and Garankle. And to be honest, I actually quite like the finish because it was Ishimori who grabbed the tights and then it backfired. That's classic heel stuff. The heel goes for something and then it backfires and the babyface gets the win because the dastardly plan blows up in his face. So I thought that was okay. And also, Damon, I like the fact that that match was only 14 minutes long. So I can buy that. Two guys, they've got history before. Taguchi just outsmarted him, got in his head and was able to get the sort of sneak upset win. It wasn't like, comprehensive, I'm better than you, I defeated you, you used all your moves and I was able to still win kind of thing. It was just like, you tried to do this sneaky thing and it blew up in your face and you lost. So that kind of came across as
I got to pause you right there because true. That was the last 2 minutes of it. There were times in this match where Ishimori is dead on the mat, like just lying there, just like he was just been destroyed by countless moves. It is. Again, a guy who hasn't had a singles match in a year comes in and is going toe-to-toe with a guy who just came off a challenge for your junior heavyweight title match. Ishimori should go in there, and I'm not saying 3 minutes, but it should be a lot more dominant than what was presented to me in that match. Yes, he got outsmarted in the last 2 minutes. Yes, the roll-up, the tights, then ass to the face, which is preposterous. The fact that it was an ass, it was that thin layer of spandex is what protects Ishimori from losing all of his matches versus winning all of his matches. That thin layer of spandex. Because, not for nothing, every time you do that pile driver, someone's balls are in your face. I'm just saying, right? Someone's asshole is in your face. It's just that little thin layer of spandex that's saving you from being
we don't have a Manscaped ad read this week. So it's just on an absolute plate, but no.
But sorry, you know continue. What I mean? Okay, so it's the ass. It's the actual physical ass that thin layer is removed, and now it's kryptonite.
I don't know if it was it the anus? Was it Taguchi's anus? Because his cheeks, his buttocks were spread. Just the way that they were positioned. So you imagine the proximity of Taguchi's anus, which let's be clear, at this point, 15 minutes into a competitive match is going to be quite smelly and sweaty, probably very fragrant, maybe a bit hairy. So all of those things combined, when you have athletes' sweaty, probably smelly anus in your face, inches away from your nose, then that's going to throw you off your game, isn't it?
I would say yes. Under normal circumstances, like if Joe, if you're in school,
I'm just waiting for the brilliant DMs and iTunes reviews I'm going to get from that,
right.
And I'm going to keep doing it because if you people keep encouraging me, you're going to get more of it.
Yep. See, right. All right. Well, let me put it to you this way. Let's say, Joel, that we were naked, me and you, right? And we were in a wrestling match, right? And I, as sexy as it sounds, sat on your face, right? And this might not be something that you would enjoy, right? You're not going to.
Well, on the contrary, Damon, I would enjoy it, and it would excite me so much that it would throw me off my game. I'd be aroused, and I'd be thinking sexual things instead of concentrating on winning the wrestling match. So either way,
is that what happened here?
If you go either the Ishimori route, if people are like, "Ugh, yuck, disgusting," and that's distracting him, he's lost, or he's found my secret kink. I love this. And, oh no, I've lost the match. It works both ways.
Okay, but my point is that if you didn't like it, which it feels like he did not enjoy it, right? He did not enjoy the.
Well, he claimed not to have liked it.
This is just a ruse? Okay.
Methinks the lady doth protest too much, you know?
Yeah, okay, now I see. Right,
so we've got some depth to this story now. This is a good angle.
Yeah, so he's actually a secret ass eater, Ishimori, but he's flailing around the ring after the fact because if you notice, if I were going to sit on someone's face and they did not want this to happen, they would be fighting for their lives and scrambling and doing everything they possibly can to not get an anus in the mouth. Right? I mean, I know I would be. I don't care what condition I'm in. I don't care if I went 15 minutes. I don't care.
What you're saying now, you're throwing this on the table that Taiji Ishimori is a top class wrestler. He knows exactly how to get out of that position.
Yeah.
He's been in that position loads of times. But he thought, you know what? I will take this meaningless defeat on this nothing show just so I can get 3 seconds of
ass
arsehole in my face.
Yep. And then I'll act like, oh, this was terrible. Oh, and I'll flail. And like after the fact, I'll flail around and be like, oh my God, terrible. Oh, that's crazy. Who would want that? And who would like that? But secretly, he not only likes it, he's an aficionado. He's an ass-eating aficionado on the down low. He's on the down low with his ass eating. That's what's happening here. I think we've figured it out. I think we've sorted it out. Taiji Ishimori is an ass eater from way back in the day, back in his days in Noah, and he's a little embarrassed with his kink. He's a little ashamed of it, but he still has that urge and that itch. And he wanted that match with Taguchi because he knew his chance had finally come. And lo and behold, he was the one that pulled down Taguchi's trunks, if you remember. He pulled it down. And all Taguchi did was give him he gave him what he wanted. Gave him what he wanted. And again, he's going to pretend that, oh, this is not for me. Oh, this is I'm a trained professional athlete. No. This is why he couldn't beat Taguchi in 15 minutes. This is why.
I'll tell you, we're learning a valuable lesson about trying to hide your sexual peccadillos. Because if you'd been more open about it, we're not kink shaming here.
No.
If you're into that stuff, fantastic. And if you'd been upfront about that and made it public, I like a bit of bum in my face, then that would have thrown Taguchi off his game. Because Taguchi would have been like, I can't use my hip attack. I can't use all my bum shenanigans. Because he likes that kind of stuff. And, that might give him extra power to beat me in the match. So this is great storytelling, Damon. And I can't believe you criticised it.
I can't believe we did this. We have figured this out. We have made this. I'm about ready to write some fan fiction. What a callback spot. Yeah. I think this is exactly what's going on. You know what? On the surface, it looks like nonsense. But this is mastercraft New Japan Pro Wrestling storytelling. Don't give me this fucking main event Tokyo Dome bullshit. Don't give me Riki Choshu. Don't give me Tenru and War Invasion. Don't give me UWFI. Don't give me Muda Takada. Inokiism, fuck all that. This is New Japan Pro Wrestling. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. This is it. This is history right here. This is 1972.
This is an angle. This is booking that's got Jushin Thunder Liger's fingerprints all over it. You know, this is classic Liger booking and storytelling.
Liger booking, for sure. I can just see him pissing his pants, laughing his ass off, building his Godzilla. Well, look, I'm glad.
So 45 minutes in, and we've barely talked about one match.
But what a match! But here's the thing: we've made this match so great.
It deserves it.
Look, dude, you're not going to get this on any other podcast. You know, you could throw 1 star at us all fucking day long. Give me somebody who's giving you this.
Give me more. Give me more of your 1-star reviews. They
give me 1 star. Yeah, they really. See what you did? That's what it was. Like, look at what you look at what you did.
All of you fuckers complaining about off-topic stuff and complaining about the horniness of this show. This is for you.
This is for
plenty
you.
More where that came from.
Because we know you're still listening, you fucks. Because guess what? After it's all said and done, we're the ones that break stories still.
Yeah, you keep coming
We're
back.
still the ones.
You keep coming
We're
back.
still the ones. We talk about ass eating. We talk about ass eating. And we break the stories. And we're number 1. Go fuck yourselves. Thank you.
All right, let's talk about. I'll give my thoughts on Rocky versus ELP because you know these are two. I think they've got really good chemistry. I think Rocky is one of El Fantasma's best opponents, but it felt I agree with you. It felt like a really good 20-minute match stretched out to 30, and I'm not sure the ends justified the means here because they had the angle at the end where Taguchi clarified it afterwards. He says he knows something's up with El Fantasma's loaded boot, and he didn't want Rocky to take the sudden death kick because he thought that would hurt Rocky and damage their chances at the Tokyo Dome. And then we had ELP afterwards saying that he kicked Rocky with the wrong part of his foot. He meant to kick him with his heel, but he didn't connect with the heel. You know, maybe this is just me being thick. I thought it was confusing at the time, and it just came across as overbooked because the time limit draw is an extremely valuable tool, but it needs to be used sparingly. The more you use it, the less effective it becomes. And I don't think they needed to use it here. Neither guy needed to be protected. Didn't really matter who took the wins or the losses here. But I don't want to throw the baby out with bathwater because aside from the time and the finish, I thought there was a lot of really good stuff here. Both guys worked very hard. I've said plenty last week about how freaking great I think Rocky is. And I also think that El Fantasma has improved a lot over the last 6 months. So I'll choose to highlight those positives here because it was a problem with booking rather than the match itself.
Yeah, and that's what I said from the jump. Like, he is just unneeded. Like, I don't know. The idea of that going 30 minutes. Like, unfortunately, I saw the match results before I watched the match. And I was just blown away. Like, I don't understand. And it was confusing, the finish with the kick. And then I saw a tweet that he put out, something about Gretzky, you had this deke. He's using a hockey analogy, Joel. He's talking my language. Fortunately, he used the wrong guy. Really, you shouldn't use Gretzky for breakaways because Gretzky probably scored most of his goals when he had a breakaway using like a slap shot or a snap shot and not necessarily a deke. Gretzky really wasn't a deker. Now, if you said Pavel Bure, all right, ELP, we're on the same page. And you would think he would he's from like British Columbia, right? Vancouver area, right? He would know Pavel Bure. You fucking disrespect the Russian Rocket. ELP. All right. That was disappointing.
Shall we move on to preview some of the upcoming matches? We've got 4 interesting shows coming up. We're going to start off on Thursday, July 22nd with Summer Struggle in Osaka Night 1. We will go straight to the 5th and the 6th match. So we've got a pair of special singles matches to build up the tag title, the heavyweight tag title scene. We have Sanada versus Zack Sabre Jr. and we have Naito versus Taichi. So Sanada versus Zack, I think that's a good pairing. I always enjoy when they wrestle each other. I think Zack is one of Sanada's best opponents. He always seems to get the best out of him. The way that Sanada's cool, cold skull, unfazed character sort of dovetails with Zack getting more and more angry and upset in the matches. They had a really good match at the Tokyo Dome a couple of years ago that I enjoyed, so I'm sure that will be really good. And Naito, Taichi, I always enjoy their matches. I know they can be quite controversial, quite divisive, but just two dickheads trying to annoy each other and piss each other off. I'm sure this will be good. Again, my only thing, please don't make it go 30 minutes.
It's going 30 minutes.
More than that. It's going to go more than that, isn't it? If this is in and out in 18 minutes, I'll be so happy, but it won't be. So again, there's the two matches that on paper I'm really looking forward to. In practice, are probably going to go longer than I would like.
It's definitely going to go the 30. I mean, they're the only singles matches on the show, right? Naito, Taichi, Zack, Sonata. There's no other singles matches on the show.
Right.
I mean, what else looking at this lineup, what else are you giving time to? Okada, Goto against Cobb and Okan? You're not giving it to Shingo and Bushi, right? Shingo, Bushi, Bushi. It's Shingo and Bushi against Kota Ibushi and Master Wato. What are you giving that? You're giving that 30 minutes? You know what I mean? There's nothing else on the show. I mean, not even this, like, what, they got Tanahashi, Ishii, and Yoshihashi against Evil, Kenta, and Yujiro. I mean, that's going 10 minutes. There's nothing else on the show that those two... Here's the thing. I don't have... Again, it is super annoying the fact that they have to they have these blocks of time that this match goes this length, this match goes this length. I mean, they have guys that can go. Do I want to see Sonata go 30 minutes? No. I don't mind seeing Zack going 30 minutes. Maybe he can make it interesting. Naito Taichi could go 30 minutes, and I think it'd be good. But yeah, those are your anchor matches. That's not going. There's no way that any of those two matches go under 20 minutes. How about that? No way.
Yeah, and then the following night for this will be Friday, July 23rd. We got night 2, Summer Struggle in Osaka, where we're basically flipping it round. 5th match, we got Sanada versus Taichi, and 6th match, Naito versus Zack. Now, Naito versus Zack was incredible in the G1, so I have complete faith in the pair of them to use that main event time wisely and make it interesting and engaging. Sanada Taichi is a match, again, we haven't seen too much of. We saw it in the New Japan Cup, and I thought it was good. It was okay. It was good. I want to see more here. I think Taichi is the kind of guy with the attitude and the personality and the wrestling style who could push Sanada to something more than the sum of its parts. Because Sanada is a guy, if you press him and you have that sort of high energy, high intensity match, that brings out the best in him. And I hope Taichi can do that here, because I think that is going to play favourably to Sanada's strengths.
I'm looking at these shows, Joe. And again, they are what they are. These are leading up to Wrestle Grand Slam. Thursday, Shingo, Bushi versus Kota Ibushi, Master Wato. Friday, Shingo, Bushi, Ibushi, Master Wato. Saturday, Shingo, Bushi, Kota Ibushi, Master Wato.
They're house show matches, though. They're not for us. They're not for viewers at home watching on New Japan World. Nobody should be watching these matches. Unless you bought a ticket and you are there in the building, you shouldn't be watching these undercard matches. I'm sorry. That's not what they're for.
Oh, my Lord. I mean, again, Okada, Goto, Cobb, Okan. It should be good. That's Thursday. Friday, Okada, Yoshihashi, Jeff Cobb, Great Okan. Saturday, Okada, Yano, Jeff Cobb, Great Okan. Holy moly. I'll tell you what. If you... there's no way I'm sitting through that shit. It's a weekend. Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not going to be watching. I watch the singles matches, and that's what New Japan is. I understand why they have to put all these shows out. That they've got put on as many shows and sell as many tickets as they can, so they can try to come close to breaking even, which is another story in and of itself. But don't watch them. Don't watch all the undercut. You'll drive yourself insane if you try to do that. And, maybe this is bad form on my part, being the one half of a podcast about New Japan Pro Wrestling, but I'm not going to be watching them. I'll just watch the singles matches. And that's what I would advise you to do, dear listener.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if you're parachuting in new, I mean, maybe you could sink your teeth into it. I don't know. I mean, that Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, I'm telling you flat out, I have so many other things that I would rather do. I swear, I cannot imagine. I'll tell you what. God bless the people that do sit through this. Whew. I mean, people are in lockdown. I bet
the Keeping It Strong style lads are watching these full shows.
You think so?
Going to give really sort of thoughtful, insightful feedback on all the undercard tag matches.
No, they're not.
Not me.
They're not doing that. Are they really? You think they're doing it? I doubt it.
We should ask them.
Nah, they're not. Nobody's. I'm telling you flat out. If they do it, no. We're not. I'll just tell you that flat out. We're not. Leave us 1 star. Because we ain't fucking doing it. Holy shit balls. I mean, listen, if there's a match in there, right? Like, if there's something that's good, don't get me wrong. We'll watch it. But we're not. I'm not carving out time night after night after night. This is like this is a G1 schedule of dog shit. No fucking way. No fucking way. All right, good.
Okay, so then we have a show on Saturday, July 24th, Summer Struggle in Nagoya, in the Aichi Prefectural Gymnasium. And again, I am fast-forwarding to the top 2 matches where we have special singles match, Tomohiro Ishii versus Evil, and then another special singles match, Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Kenta. So, Ishii versus Evil could be good. I think Evil is the best kind of opponent. He's got the type of opponent with the highest chance of making something watchable out of the current iteration of Evil. And Evil, there have been slight signs that they're maybe dialing back on the shenanigans a bit, but again, I will reserve judgment. I expect to see shenanigans in this match, but I want to see Evil.
If you've been a renter, you know it's stressful to find the perfect place. But Zillow Rentals make it easy. They have filters for pretty much everything, so you can find a rental that's big enough for entertaining your friends, but small enough they won't crash all weekend. Find your sweet spot on ZillowRentals.com.
Have you been to Express lately? People can't get enough of their clothes. They're like instant confidence boosters. The jeans come in a temp control fabric that keeps you comfortable no matter the weather. And the t-shirts, hands down, they'll feel like they're made of the softest fabric you've ever worn. And get this, the suits have stretch and look sharp. Like, what? How do they do that? Everyone's raving about the newest looks from Express. Just check out the 5-star reviews. See for yourself and shop the latest at express.com and in stores.
Doing some good wrestling. And just even as that sentence just came oozing out of my mouth, I realised what a stupid thing it was to say, because we're not going to get it. But
nope.
There's a chance this match could be good. If anyone can drag Bullet Club Evil kicking and screaming to a watchable match, it is Tomohiro Ishii. So Godspeed, Tom.
Yep. Look, I think everyone on planet Earth knows what we're getting here. We're getting Tommy Ishii striking hard and doing his best to have a great match, which he always does. Full steam ahead. No doubt about it, right? You got Evil, who, again, is hit or miss when it comes to that, taking out the shenanigans, right? He's hit or miss. He could have some great performances. He could have some pretty average performances, right?
Can I jump in with a question? Because Evil's a strange guy, because he never has the kind of the chemistry with opponents that you would expect him to. Because you see the size of him, you think, this is a bruiser. This is a guy who's going to have good heavy hitting matches with guys like Ishii and Goto and Shingo. But it never really pans out that way. There were glimpses of it in that amazing New Year dash tag last year that I've thrown a lot of praise at. But this Evil at least, who have his best singles matches been against? And they've been against guys like, in my opinion, Zack and Yoshihashi, which you might not expect.
Yeah. He's almost like what Jeff Cobb was a couple years ago. You know what I mean? Like, he needs an opponent to do a lot of the make me look good, as opposed to I'm going to get in there and mix it up with the bruisers. and you would think it would he would be that guy. Yeah, it is amazing, isn't it? And again, it's sometimes it works out. Sometimes he is a dice roll. More than anyone else on the roster, I feel like Evil is a dice roll of what you're going to get. Because I'll go so far as to say, and I talked about it earlier, how the old tap on the shoulder, anyone can go, blah 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 blah. Is he the one guy on that roster that you have hesitation to say that he could do that? Like you tap Evil on the shoulder and say, "Okay, big boy, I need you to go out there and have a fucking humdinger." Can he do that consistently?
It's not his fault. It's just the way that he is booked and the presentation of this character.
No. I mean, just in general. Take all that out.
It depends who his opponent with, because I really enjoyed the series with Naito. I thought some of those title matches, some of the main events, I thought were really enjoyable against Naito, and I enjoyed more of his G1 matches than I thought I would against some surprising opponents, like I mentioned. But then sometimes he will go out against a guy like Okada, and it's just dog shit.
Right. Think about that. Who has bad matches with fucking Okada?
Well, that is opening a can of worms, because a lot of people would point the finger and say that's Okada's fault, that he just
come on.
did not give a shit and phoned it in because he doesn't respect. Maybe he doesn't respect Evil. Maybe he's not interested in the feud and isn't gonna go balls to the wall trying to make that match good.
Nah, in a big come on, that's hard for me to swallow. That you're gonna
those Castle Attack matches against Evil, you cannot look at that and say yes, that is Okada trying his absolute best to get this guy over. He looked like he was
in a singles match. In a singles match, like he's like those dumb title defenses leading up to Wrestle Kingdom, and it was always Evil they would put in the fucking in the mix. Those matches were good. The G1 matches, they were good.
Yeah, but we're talking like we're rolling back several years here. This is you're looking at like 2017 Okada, which is very different to 2021 Okada, who I would say is more hit and miss than he was. I mean, if you were to ask me what certified bangers has Okada had this year, I would give you the Ospreay match at Wrestle Kingdom, which I thought was amazing. Aside from that, what are we looking at? What match of the year candidates have we had from Okada?
I'll tell you what, go back 2 years. I mean, we're talking Money Clip era, right? He doesn't have a ton on that list. All right, yep. So Evil is Evil. Ishii is questionable. How about Tanahashi Kenta? What are you looking at?
Tanahashi Kenta, a match that, if you get, like I said, if you gave him 18 minutes, it would be great. But this is going 36 minutes, and I am going to be doing other stuff for the first 20 minutes. I'm going to be fucking around on my phone and not paying attention. There'll be some good character stuff from Kenta. Kenta will make me chuckle a few times, and the closing 7 to 8 minutes will be great, and a lot of people will watch that, and that will be the takeaway and say, oh, yeah, brilliant, great match between the two of them, but I don't know.
I'm telling you what, 20 minutes.
This era of New Japan anymore.
20 minutes, I could probably jerk off twice. Right? I could probably get
Should we do that? Should we?
Yeah, let's see if we can do it.
How many quarts of semen can we?
My problem would be this. See, my problem would be this. Like I'm gonna go. I gotta pace myself for the first half because, and I gotta kind of get it done quick, right? Because I gotta recoup. I take a little bit to recoup.
Refractory periods, yeah.
Yeah, I gotta regenerate. Okay, so that might take a second or two. So I might need them to like grab a chin lock, grab an arm bar.
Some of the crowd clapping.
Yeah. clap. Come on, yeah, root me on. But yeah, I think so. I think 20 minutes, and then watch the rest of the match. That's a good idea. Oh, the analysis is hard hitting here.
Done. That's why you come to the Super J Cast for brilliant insight like that. Yeah. Let's go on then to Wrestle Grand Slam in Tokyo Dome, which will be this Sunday, July 25th. This is a proper show. I'm excited about this one. And we are starting off with the KOPW 2021 New Japan Rambo with handcuffs. It's official, Damon. So the results have come in. So there were 15,000 votes cast in English and Japanese social media. 76% voted for handcuffs. So it's going to be a New Japan... Okay, so the website says New Japan Rambo with blindfolds, but that's not correct. It's going to be handcuffs. So as in any normal New Japan Rambo, entrants will join the match at a random order in 1-minute intervals. Elimination can occur by pinfall, submission, disqualification, or by being thrown over the top rope. With handcuffs means, however, that a wrestler can also be eliminated by being handcuffed to the ropes or ringside area and must remain in place for the remainder of the match. They took a Rambo... And I like Rambos, and they've made it shit. The Toriano touch of shit has ruined the New Japan Rambo.
I mean, who thought of who thought of this, and B, who gave this the green light? Like, who was like, all right, here's an idea. Why don't we have handcuffs? It's probably my guy from Alabama. Ghetto, why don't we get somebody with some handcuffs? We'll put them all around the ringside. We'll do the Rambo that way. How's that sound?
Something you saw in the territories in Memphis in the 80s.
No, even Memphis wouldn't be this nonsense. This is pure, unadulterated WWE.
Yeah,
Memphis
no, this is like sort of late 90s WCW crap, isn't it?
Yeah. Again, it's the first match. It's all, New Japan bottom feeders that are in this match. It has that line.
Wait, so does that mean Ishimori's going to be in the match as well?
He should.
Callbacks. This is why we just get comedy gold on the Super J Cast.
I know. All right, can we do this? Want to have some fun with it? Who's in this? Who's in this match?
Everyone who's not on the card. I don't know. It's not been announced yet. We don't have a list of people, but I don't know. I don't care. Yano's probably winning. Next.
It is fucked up. All right, so God, what's next? What is next?
Okay, so the first proper match, we have got the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championship match with the challengers, the mega coaches, Rocky and Taguchi, taking on ELP and Ishimori. So I think this one is going to be really good. They will get maybe 15 minutes, and I've got full confidence in all four of these guys that in a 15-minute high-paced opening junior tag title match that they're going to deliver, and this is going to be good fun.
I agree. I definitely agree. Will we see new tag team champions?
That is an interesting question, and I will say no. I think Bullet Club will retain, just because I'm unsure about how long Rocky's going to be staying in Japan for. I think he might be needed back in the States, so maybe not the best person to be holding the title.
Right. He's got to lie down to Clark Connors again. So,
and to be fair, I would love the Mega Coaches to win because I think they're a terrific team and it will be really interesting and shake things up a bit in the division. But I just think in terms of the logistics, but maybe ELP wants to go back home as well. So I don't know. This one's a coin toss for me, actually.
I'm saying a successful title defense. Mega Coaches will not be our new IWGP Junior Tag Team Champions. I say the match goes under 15. And I hope it's a nice little sprint. Both teams could do that and make it short and sweet. But yeah, I think we'll Bullet Club will retain.
Second match is the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Singles Championship match with El Desperado with his third defense against the challenger Robbie Eagles. I expect another successful defense here from Despy. Or do I? Are they going to fly Robbie out just to lose a title challenge? This is tricky. I don't know. I will stick with Despy. I think Despy will keep it until Hiromu's back. I think that is the direction to go. And again, interesting placement here. maybe the kind of match that might suffer from being put in a main event spot and being expected to do the obligatory 36 minutes. But second from the top, again, in and out in less than 20. If we're looking around 15 minutes, high-paced, high-flying, high-intensity, this could be really good.
I think this would be really good, especially, Robbie's going to have a chip on his shoulder, getting back into the ring, getting in a big building. Again, crowds aside, whatever. I think it'd be very good. I don't know if there'll be a title change here as well for the same reasons. But again, they did fly him in, and it would seem weird. But yeah, to me, I think all signs and all roads are leading to Desperado and Hiromu, and Hiromu is supposed to be back. And I would not be surprised if you see a challenge right after this match. Right, that would be a nice little spot for that to happen. So, I think a successful title defense for El Despo.
Third match then is a special singles match with Kazuchika Okada facing Jeff Cobb. And again, I think this depends what kind of Okada turns up. Are we going to get Money Clip Okada, or are we going to get Tokyo Dome Okada? I would err towards saying Tokyo Dome Okada, but with the caveat being, this is the third match. He might think, it's the third match, But, Jeff Cobb has been tremendous in 2020. Well, over the last 12 months, actually, I think he's been fantastic in New Japan. So I don't have any question marks about him going into this. I'm sure he will deliver. And I will err on the side of optimism. Again, this is one that being lower on the card has a better chance of being entertaining. 15 minutes, we get high energy. Okada taking some big bumps for Jeff. I think this should be good as well. Who wins? I tell you, Jeff Cobb has just been losing to a lot of people. I think he could really do with a win here. Yeah. Possibly looking at a situation where the winner of this match is a future title challenger. Mm-hmm. Same could be said for Evil versus Ishii. The winner of that could be someone who's popping out to challenge. So I'm not sure about this one. I'm leaning towards an Okada win.
Yeah, I'm that building, whether it's 15,000, 20,000, 40,000, that's Okada's building. And just like Tanahashi before him, you get in that building, and he'll make it work. He'll find it within himself to make it special. And again, Jeff Cobb, also with a little chip on his shoulder, I'm sure, going into this match, singles match, Tokyo Dome, Okada. He's improved leaps and bounds. He's found his groove. This is a big spot for him. Probably the biggest spot of his career. He's going to want it to be great, and I think everybody will. Everybody will want it to be great, and I think it will be. I think it'd be really great. I think it's going to go longer than what you think, though. It's Okada. I don't care if it's the third match. They're not going to give him 10 minutes. I find it hard to fathom Okada lying down at the Tokyo Dome to Jeff Cobb. And I don't know. You give me any other building, I'd be like, okay, I could. I don't know. Can you see Jeff Cobb getting a win over Okada inside the Tokyo Dome, straight from Suidabashi Station?
No, I don't see it happening. I think, despite what we've said about our reservations about Okada as a singles performer in 2021, singles match wins over him are a premium. They don't hand those out to anybody. And I expect Okada to win here.
I agree with that, 100%. There you go. All right, we're on the same page there. What's next?
Fourth match is IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Championship match with the new champions, Sanada and Naito, in their first defense against Dangerous Tekkers, Zack and Taichi. And yet again, I'm repeating myself here. I think this is a match that will be improved by going less time than the previous one did, because obviously this is not going 36 minutes. Not to say that I thought the first one was bad. I actually really like that one. But here I expect we'll get a different kind of match. It's going to be faster, and they'll have to pack more into it in a shorter time. So great chemistry between all four guys. I think this would be really good. And I think Dangerous Tekkers might win the titles back here.
I would I would be okay with either one. I think the match will be very good. Again, I think Sonata in a tag scenario is ideal. I love the energy, and I love the focus, and I love the fact that the belts feel special. Here's my biggest concern. This is the end of the New Japan tag team era. Because you know what's right around the corner. Right? You could see it coming, right? There's not, aside from what we might have with the United Empire, who's next in line for a tag team title defense, or challenge, should I say? Who's next in line? You think they're not actually going to do Tanahashi Okada? I mean, that's a pipe dream, I think. It'd be awesome if they did do that, but they're not going to do that. Who's next?
I think it should be Cobb and Okan, personally.
Okay. All right. So if it is Cobb and Okan, which I would have absolutely no problem with, heel team, well, I mean, they're definitely heel team, but it's not like, would you consider Los Ingobernables a heel faction?
No, definitely not. They're baby faces.
Okay. So that kind of has me leaning a little bit more that way, with them retaining, if in fact they are the next in line. My point was, we know we're getting Good Brothers soon, right? We know that's happening, right?
Yeah. Well, we'll come on to that later with an episode of Strong that I really enjoyed, actually. But yeah, that is. Well, I've spoke about my worries and fears about that in previous shows, but that is a possibility. Yeah. I mean, it's down the road. We got a little time. We got a little time to enjoy what we got right now. And I just think, oh my God, all roads are pointing that way, and it's just like that is a road I do not want to go down. But it was fun while it lasted, right, kids? Okay, let's move on to the main event then, which is the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship match with the champion Shingo Takagi in his first defense against the challenger Kota Ibushi. And I just think it's notable here how many of these, I've said it before, how many of these big spots Ibushi has been given as, the guy. And I think probably one of the most physically durable of the top guys in New Japan at the moment, who can be relied upon month after month after month to be putting in these big spots and deliver quality matches, quality main events, match of the year candidates. And I'm sure we're going to get another one here because they've met each other in the past. They fought in the G1 and it was good, but you felt like they had a better match in them. And I think this is going to be it. I think with anything less than a match of the year candidate, I'm going to be disappointed. Do I think Ibushi's going to win? I think there's a very good chance of that. I can see a world where Ibushi wins the title and then maybe we get Evil as the next challenger, as, a little filler defense and heat them up for the G1. But yeah, I think we're looking at a great match here and I think Ibushi's going to win.
I think so too. Well, let's put it this way. I don't think there is any guarantee that Shingo isn't, the old one and done. New Japan has a history of short title reigns your first time with a belt. So that wouldn't surprise me. And again, I am the big fan of, all right, so how many titles are changing hands on a show? You don't want to have every fucking title drop. It is set up for that. It is set up for a climatic finish with Kota Ibushi standing tall in a building that has been very good to him as well. And I don't want to say this out loud, but I did say this out loud on previous shows where, COVID and everything that has gone down in recent months afforded New Japan to be a little bit creative, take some chances, and I don't want to say have placeholder champions, but they could do that. They could have a guy who can buy them some time, a fresh face, a guy who can have a handful of good matches when asked. I think this title changes hands here. Now, think of this. For a title that has been known for its stability and its, it doesn't, not everyone gets it and all that stuff that we talked about in the past. And again, this is not 2018. This is not 2019. Boy, that title feels like it's changed hands a lot. Right? And again, we go back, not the world title, feels like this title's changed hands a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah, so looking at this calendar year, we've got Naito to Ibushi to Ospreay to Shingo, and now we're looking potentially back to Ibushi. So there will be accusations of hot-shotting, which may not be unfounded.
Okay, but this is not Jim Crockett circa 1986 either. You know, we do have some circumstances that have fucking, made things a little bit crazy.
It's a new title, though. This new title needs a long, stable, iconic reign to get it.
I don't think this is what this promotion is anymore.
You could be right.
I really don't. I think the idea of what we sunk our teeth into with New Japan Pro Wrestling, I don't think that's the same promotion. I don't think that you have that luxury. It's just not the same promotion anymore. And that's a big challenge for a lot of people. I don't think you're going to get that epic run, Okada run, or that epic battle between Tanahashi and Okada. I think that was a pocket in time, but I truly believe that era is over. And that's not to say that this title now becomes, just any willy-nilly person can get it. But the idea of it being this thing that just stays with one person for a long period of time, that person's got to be pretty fucking magical. And I think it would be a mistake if they went back and said, okay, we're going to give it to Tanahashi for a long run, or we're going to give it to Okada for a long run. I think that now you're falling into a trap of, as not for nothing, it's not that long ago, but nostalgia. Again, this I don't think this promotion is the same promotion for the good and for the bad that it was just 5 years ago.
Let me jump into a few questions. Bash says, we've got 3 Dome shows now in the space of 6 months. Do you think this takes away the specialness of a show at the Tokyo Dome? And what matches are you most looking forward to this week, bar the Tokyo Dome main event?
It does. I can't lie. The idea that this week there's a Tokyo Dome show is strange, to say the least. It does not feel like a January 4th event. And it's been on and off, and it's been some struggle getting it, pardon the pun, a summer struggle to get it off the ground. So does it lose the overall luster? No, it's still the Tokyo Dome. It's still it's something to look forward to. It's still best show of in a long time. It's a dome worthy show. But yeah, they're trying to understand the logic here of they have to find a way to balance these books. And running the Tokyo Dome, even it's going to be one of the biggest houses of the year, even with restrictions, right, Joel? It's going to be one of the biggest houses of the year. And I don't know what the rent is, but it's not like there's a million options for the Tokyo Dome right now. There's no touring acts, there's no bands, there's no whatever. Maybe they got a good deal. So, does it feel less special? Kinda, but it's still the Tokyo Dome, and it's probably the best thing we got going on this summer.
And match you're particularly looking forward to this week, aside from the main event?
Tag match. I love what they've done with tag matches. I am looking forward to Okada, Jeff Cobb. I think that's going to be interesting. Because I'll tell you what, I would love to see Okada lying down. I don't think it's going to happen. But boy, would that be just a fucking shot in the arm for Jeff Cobb. That would be really great. So I would say those two.
Yeah, personally, Despy, Robbie Eagles, I think that'll be tremendous. I'm really excited about that. Very happy to see Robbie back. Spannerhead says, any idea of a backup plan in case Ibushi's sick and can't compete at Grand Slam? He'll be fine. I'm sure he'll be there. So I would not worry about that. Just a couple of news bits here. I saw from Impact that Chris Bay, who you may remember competing in the Super J Cup last year, has joined Bullet Club. So what are your thoughts on this? Do you think it's a good fit? And what do you think we'll see from Chris Bay? Is he going to be appearing on Strong, or are we going to see Bullet Club on Impact and other promotions? What are your thoughts?
So it wasn't anything really official, other than he just came out with a T-shirt, right?
Correct, yeah. Jay White presented him with a Bullet Club shirt.
Gotcha. Okay. I mean, heel, dickhead, American, slimy, cheating heel.
Maybe some tag stuff. I don't know if they might send someone like ELP back, and ELP and Chris Bay be in a tag team, doing something in Impact or Strong. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't expect a plane ride immediately. Maybe eventually, but yeah, he'll anchor it down here in the States and represent the Bullet Club. Ugh. Let me ask you this: disappointed with that?
No, actually, I was pleased just by virtue of the fact that it means we're going to see more Chris Bay, who's a guy that I like. Okay. So, I took the positives from that. Okay,
all right, that's a good way to look at it. Anytime anybody joins Bullet Club, I'm just kind of like, oh, but okay, all right, that's a good way to look at it.
What did you think of Jay White's surprise appearance on Impact, coming out having a face-off with Kenny Omega and his boys? So
I like the fact that we were on top of that before it happened. I like the fact that if you follow us on Twitter, which you should, you were
I would
privy.
have ruined it for you.
Joel would have ruined it for you a good 10 minutes before it happened. Listen, we got eyeballs everywhere. We got eyeballs everywhere. Can't get past us. Even for your fucking dumb 1 star. Guess what? We get the DMs, right? We get the DMs. Just saying. For all of our ass-eating jokes, there's a lot of people that like them. A lot of people like them. Not you, that's for sure. So you just keep following us, right? Boy, I'm angry.
Those are the best kind of listeners, David. The hate listeners.
Oh, they're great.
They hate
because they know.
They hate at least one of us, but they cannot help tuning in every week. Just because we're so
I don't see why they would hate me. Does anybody hate me? Just give me yes or no.
But the most of the people hate me, to be fair.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't see how. You are a smart, funny. Oh.
That's why they hate me.
Is that what it is?
And that and my politics, yeah.
And your massive cock. They're very jealous of it.
I should stop posting photos of it all the time, shouldn't I? No, that's the hairy wrestling fans gimmick. I shouldn't take that away from him.
Oh, goodness gracious.
A deep cut. A deep cut.
Yeah.
David McDonald.
But can I ask? I'm not even going to ask now. I'm not going to get into it. Yeah, we broke that before it happened. And we told everyone you might want to tune in to that Slammiversary. Might want to fork over the money to Fight TV or wherever the fuck it was. It was interesting. I think the idea of they're going to save this for Dominion or they're going to save this for there is no saving. They will put an angle like that on a fucking Impact show. That tells you everything you fucking need to know about the state of pro wrestling right now. They will put an angle like that where Jay White walks into the ring and stares down Kenny Omega in Impact. in front of how many people do you think were there? 300? Hey, if that. They will do that. That is the most shocking thing. Not that it happened. The fact that it happened there. So, look. I mean, it's fun. I'm sorry. I have a... Oh, there you are. All right. Have a great day at work. I got my vitamins now. The fact that it happened is amazing. But the fact that it happened there was even more amazing. And it's something that I don't think anybody expected. And I think it also tells you that Jay White ain't going to Japan anytime soon.
What do you think is the end game of that? I mean, do you think we're going to be seeing a Jay White Kenny Omega singles match in the near future?
Yep.
And where do you think that takes place? Do you think that's
the Impact Zone?
Can you imagine? We've got a question from Andrew. Says, what are the odds of the Gamer Kenny Omega defending his Impact title at Resurgence? And who would you like to see the Gamer Kenny Omega wrestle? Please discuss in depth what this means for Kota Ibushi also. I mean, the only thing is obvious here. We're going to get Ibushi flying over very, very soon. So he's going to win the IWGP World Heavyweight title and fly over, and it's going to be Kenny Omega, AEW champion Kenny Omega against New Japan champion Kota Ibushi for all the titles, both belts on the line in the Impact Zone.
Let me craziness. Let me throw one by you. You know, New Japan had a building booked, and it was moved, and it right now requires to get into said building, you need to have proof that you are fully vaccinated. You cannot get into this building unless you are fully vaccinated. That building is in the heart and soul of Earth itself. It's so nice you got to say it twice. It's New York, New York. And that building is Madison Square Garden, Joel. And boy, that seems like a destination where safety is a priority, and all you got to do is bring in a handful of people from New Japan Pro Wrestling. They can do a little tour. They can do a little vaccine tour themselves. And lo and behold, imagine a night of pro wrestling. And correct me if I'm wrong, AEW has already done very well for itself in the New York market, selling out a big, big building. I would not be surprised if all of this, where does this all lead? I don't necessarily think it necessarily, I'll say necessarily 7 times. It leads to Tokyo Dome, big show. Madison Square Garden is going to be bumping. And I think you're going to see a lot of things that we never thought we would dream we would see a year ago, 2 years ago, in a big building like that. So again, am I saying pastrami sandwich, Joel? No. No pastrami sandwiches. But what I'm saying is, don't be surprised. Let's put it this way. Let's get a brisket. Let's get a brisket. We'll put it in the freezer. Let's sit for a little bit. When we're ready to cook, we'll cook. We'll cook. But when it's done, we're going to have a fucking good sandwich, my man. We're going to have a good fucking sandwich.
So you think Kenny Omega against Jay White would be a very tasty main event for a potential super show with these different promotions involved?
Yep, I do. I definitely do. I think you're going to see a lot of inter-promotion fun when it comes to a big look.
Can I put you on the spot and say, give me a date, like a month or a year, a season?
Okay, so let's put it this way. They currently are planning for a full NBA, NHL season. right? So that's already in the works. So we will have full capacity arenas around the country in September. And we already do pretty much have it for baseball. So G1 this year is September, October. Right? Am I wrong in that? September, October?
Yeah, that's correct. I can tell you they've announced dates for it, so let me see. We're starting on September the 18th and running until October 21st.
Okay. Is November-ish or December-ish, early December-ish out of the question?
The only question I would have about that is if you want to send over some big New Japan talent for that, which obviously you would, then what about January 4th? Is that going to be a bit of a mad scramble to get people back in time?
I mean, it could. It definitely could. But, I mean, who knows where we're going to be at that point? Like, you have the possibility to have a very large gate and to get your name back in front of people. I think they would be. Let's put it this way: the United States is the only place right now that they can recoup some of these losses. It really is. And again, they got to be strategic and they got to run the right buildings. Again, they're not going to run, major arenas across the country. Like, they're not running fucking American Airlines Arena again, They're not making that mistake again. But there are pockets. Again, if they did the right thing, had the right people involved, where they could make some money running shows in the United States at full capacity buildings. Aside from G1, that stretch before the Tokyo Dome, what the fuck what are we doing? World Tag League?
Yeah,
Send them
last
over
year
here.
was the joint World Tag League Best of Super Juniors.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Send them over here. Make some money. Yeah. I mean, if I'm New Japan, that's what I'm doing. I mean, that's I have that circled in my calendar. Now, again, you're going to be in competition with every fucking other event under the sun that wants to book as many dates as they can, too. Concerts, the fucking circus, ice capades, Riley Reid's Dildo Tour America. Who knows, right? You're going to have to fight for that. Joe, they would sell out Madison Square Garden in a fucking heartbeat if they put on the right show. If they had Kenny Omega, Jay White, Battle of the Bullet Club, you're selling out Madison Square Garden, right?
Yeah, that will go in minutes.
Okay. So now you got a gate, and again, the rent at Madison Square Garden is very high. I'm sure, whatever, money, blah 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 blah. Okay, great. But then you do a little pocket tour in buildings that you could fill, 2,000, 3,000 seaters, right? Again, you don't have to go everywhere. Pop around there, and you're getting what might be most importantly is your name is back out in front of people's faces, and that's been a struggle for 2 years. And you could do it here in the country and regain some of that lost momentum that you had by doing this. You're already in Look, we already know there's a partnership. We already know it's there. There's no walls that need to be broken down. There's no doors that need to be kicked in. The barn doors are fucking open. Let's make some money. Let's make some fucking money.
And sticking with this idea about super shows, Antonio said, friend of the show, Antonio, he's back. He saw TNA or Impact doing a teaser about Bound for Glory, which showed AEW, New Japan, and Triple A logos, and didn't show anything about CMLL. So, question is, does New Japan still work with CMLL, or are they working with Triple A? What's the scoop about CMLL's backstage reaction to that teaser? We don't know. We haven't heard anything.
No. You didn't read it right. Because I look forward to reading the last part and that is my question.
That's my question. Yes, that is Antonio's question. Sorry.
That is his question.
Yeah, we don't know. We haven't heard anything, but I imagine they are still working together. I mean, we still get the CMLL programming appearing on New Japan World, but there's not really much else CMLL can offer at this moment. You know, they can't send talent over. They can't have talent coming over to work excursion for them. So there's not really a great deal they could do. So they might be annoyed about it, but, you know, they've got their own issues to deal with. I would not expect to see any New Japan talent wrestling in the same match as Triple A talent. I don't think that will be happening anytime soon, but yeah, I wouldn't read too much into that.
Yeah, I think it's just again, you wouldn't see that in years past, but yeah, I wouldn't read too much into that. But you know, it is noticeable in that, you know, you wouldn't see that in years past, but again, I think they have bigger fish to fry right now and bigger problems. And Joel's correct in that you probably will not see much exchanging of talents between the two nations or the two promotions until things get cleaned up.
Okay, I'm excited to talk about New Japan Strong this week. We saw the start of Tag Team Turbulence. So let me ask you, Damon, do you want me to come to you for your thoughts after each match or at the end? Shall I just go through all matches and then come to you?
Well, I'll tell you what. Whatever you want to do. I mean, okay. I watched it all. I mean, if you want to run through it and then I can give you my final thoughts, that'd be fine.
So we started off with round one of Tag Team Turbulence. We had Doc Gallows and Machine Gun Carl Anderson, the Good Brothers, defeating TJP and Clark Connors in 10 minutes and 1 second, with the Magic Killer, TJP, taking the pin here. I thought this was good. Gallows came across as a hard-hitting and menacing physical presence here. A lot of that, I think, was down to Clark Connors' great selling. Not a great deal to sink your teeth into here with a 10-minute match, but the aim was to get over the Good Brothers as dominant favourites going into this tournament, and having them, you know, comprehensively run through this plucky, energetic underdog babyface team did just that. And I thought it was notable here for TJP, who's the more experienced veteran on this tag team, eating the pin. Like, they do not want Clark Connors taking that fall, do they?
Right. That's the one thing I did take away from it. One that it was like, it felt to me like they were pushing so hard on Gallows and Anderson that during the match, I'm just like, well, there's no fucking way they're winning this tournament. Like, you're building them up so much that you're making me feel that, oh, okay, then somebody's beating them, you know, just to give the rub. Yeah, they definitely didn't want Clark Connors to take that pin. So that was the second thing. 8 minutes, you said. Oh, okay. I thought it was a little bit longer than that, I felt like. But, yep, it was fine. It was good.
No, it was 10 minutes. 10 minutes and 1 second.
Okay. All right. Nothing for a tournament, it did feel like it went quick. You know, sometimes tournaments, I don't know, maybe they do overstay their welcome, as we like to say here. Nothing here. Like, and again, these are first-round matches that were kind of blazing through. It was fine. But yeah, the feeling that I got was they're making them feel like they're so important that they're going to lose the finals. It just felt that way.
And our second match was Ren Narita and Yuji Nagata defeating Wheeler Yuta and Fred Yehi in 10 minutes 59 seconds. It says here Narita special number 4. So that was Ren Narita's beautiful bridging suplex here. And Wheeler Yuta, guy I've spoken about before, he's making waves in AEW now, and I've been singing his praises for months. And I'm not, trying to put myself over as some big talent scout, because Strong isn't exactly the local indies. But every single time that I've watched a match on Strong with one of these, lesser known talents in a low profile match on a show that, to be fair, very few people have watched and said, hey, this guy's actually really talented, check him out. The hit rate of said wrestler moving on to a WWE or an AEW is very high. So I think Strong is a really exciting show to watch, to get that glimpse of newer talent ready to make the next big jump. And as I said before, in New Japan, they've got to be careful. They're not just becoming a stepping stone for the big boys. And I don't know what the arrangements are, but I really hope guys like Yuta and Yehi will be working with New Japan and AEW for the foreseeable future. I've talked about this before. What an attractive option that must be for these young guys if they can either get themselves in the LA dojo like the DKC has done, or alternatively keep your options open. Work Dark, work Dynamite and Strong, and Impact and other indies, and get those bookings, get TV exposure, work with some big names, get your name out there. And have the potential to make the jump to the main rosters of either company if they're good enough. And a guy like Wheeler Yuta is very quickly becoming proof of concept for that idea. And just personally speaking, to me, that's a much more interesting option than going to the fucking Performance Center where, absolute best case scenario is being successful on NXT, having a good run there before the main roster swallows you up and shits you out. But, I digress. Back to the match. I thought the opening moments with Narita grappling with Yuta whet my appetite for a singles match in the future, and same with Nagata mixing it up with Yehai, very interesting. And there's another thing I like about Strong, it provides little opportunities for fascinating matchups that you never thought about, you never thought you needed it, but then you see it in a tag match and you're like, oh, I want to see more of that. I thought Yuta's arm selling was good. I see a lot of upside as a fiery underdog babyface, but ultimately it was Ren Narita who's getting a big pin here with his beautiful British suplex, and he's just starting to kind of flex his muscles as the big New Japan Dojo blue chip prospect in the US. And I don't know how long he'll stick around, but he's been given a lot of big wins on Strong, and I want to see him getting some longer singles matches against bigger names. I would have loved to see Yuta and Yehai go deeper in the tournament, but I can't really argue against putting more fuel in the Narita fire, because if you've got to make that choice between giving some more shine to unsigned independent talent or giving that shine to your dojo prospects, you've got to go with your homegrown boys. That has got to be one of the key functions of Strong here.
Yeah. Narita and Nagata advance. So are we guaranteed? What would we be guaranteed? Okay, so we're not. Oh yeah, we would get Gallows and Anderson versus Nagata and Ren Narita. That sounds pretty good, right? I mean, it's something that we talked about last week when we did our brackets, but that should be pretty good, right? I'm taking that. Yeah. Again, they just feel like they do stuff right. They just feel like they do stuff right. I can't imagine people not getting on board with this show. I know it's not always on people's radar, but it just feels like they just do everything right. Yeah, Narita getting the pin. Good. I mean, it was a good match. It was fine. I mean, it's nothing I'm going to go crazy over, but yeah, everything's just simple and works. It's just simple. Simple pro wrestling. Like when you talked about the sumo stuff, like that. What you feel there is how I feel about Strong, where it's just like 10-minute matches, simple. They get over the guys they got to get over. They make their point and they get the fuck out, and that's that. That's what I feel about. But Strong, like Strong for me is your sumo.
Yeah, and I don't think it's a coincidence that I really, really enjoyed both of those things. Third match, we had the West Coast Wrecking Crew, Royce Isaacs and Jorel Nelson defeating the DKC and Kevin Knight. 7 minutes, 22 seconds, our following Movie on the Roof, their finishing move. Kevin Knight is so fun to watch. You can just feel that he's a guy who's putting in 100%. Everything he's got into these little chances that he gets, like the effort, the passion that just jumps off the screen to me. He's a really good wrestler too. Unlimited potential for that young man. And I thought this match was a nice showcase for the West Coast Wrecking Crew. They look great. They look like a proper serious tag team. Matching gear,
yep.
Always a bonus for me. And we don't see too many of those in New Japan. So I really hope they stick around. I would love to see them making it big and possibly getting some time over in Japan in hopefully a not too distant future. And the main event was Violence Unlimited, Chris Dickinson and Brody King defeating Team Filthy, Danny Limelight and JR Kratos in 8 minutes 22 seconds following the running Death Valley Driver. And this, Damon, this is a beautiful example of the synergy between all these companies, and they're all working together. You've got the ROH storylines, the Strong storylines aligning to give us a main event between two teams who have history on Strong that can give some shine to a tag tournament with a proper backstory, a proper long-term feud here between these guys. And, actually, just this first round bracket of the tag team tournament in general, it's a great snapshot of the terrific roster building on Strong. It's got so many different threads going into it. You've got the Good Brothers and the Impact, AW, Elite, Bullet Club angles. You've got homegrown talents like Clark and Narita ready to take the next step, working alongside veterans like TJP, like Nagata. We've got independent talent like Yehai, Yuta, West Coast Wrecking Crew are going to have big companies offering serious contracts to them soon, I reckon. We've got the new dojo talent, guys like DKC, Kevin Knight. We've got ROH stars, Brody King, guys like Chris Dickinson. We've got MLW talent. We've got long-term storylines.
LA Dojo Boys?
Yeah. We've got these long-term storylines from Strong, Team Filthy going into this. A lot of ingredients going into this first round of the tag Team Turbulence that, some people might have hand-waved this tournament, but I think there's real depth to this thing. Also, I want to shout out Brody King for his cameo on the Netflix show I Think You Should Leave, Season 2, which is absolutely hilarious. I strongly recommend if you haven't seen it. I love this match, Damon. I thought this was really good. It was short, 8 minutes, but I thought every one of these guys looked good. You've got Dickinson, there's like the pissed off prize fighter. He's got a score to settle against Team Filthy, who fucked him over before. You've got Brody King as the big monster, just manhandling everyone, throwing them around. You've got Danny Limelight as the little slimy Weasley sidekick who, shows he can hang with the big boys with some nice athleticism and trying to use his cunning to survive and a bit high flying. And JR Kratos, who is continuing to impress me with his speed and his mobility, because at first glance he might just seem like a generic big fella, but I think he's got deceptive agility and just little things like doing a Pele kick and the way he bumped for the Tornado DDT. I think he's improved a ton since I first saw him on Strong, and I thought this match was great. Like I said, sub 10 minutes, non-stop action. Just so much packed into it. Give me more of this. This is New Japan Strong, ladies and gentlemen. This is good shit. I love this show.
Yep. And again, in August, you got that Resurgence show in Los Angeles, right? Which, from what I understand, tickets are going... It's almost sold out, isn't it? I haven't checked in a while, but let's see what we got going on here. There's seats that are in, like... Ringside, you're not getting ringside. Let's put it that way. So you're getting like the secondary tier of this building. And it looks like it's mostly secondary market. So, it looks like it's done pretty well for itself. So that'll be fun. And that'll be, the first time they get in front of a live crowd. Well, get on board now while you can. Honestly, you should be going to this show. I told you I had some offers. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. I have so much I got to do. I don't know. But they're looking good. They're looking good. August 14th at the Torch. They got some talent that's going to be on this fucking show, at least according to the poster. So, good things right around the corner for this group. You mean to tell me that this isn't a little test run to see what we can do? And again, all the names that you mentioned there, Chris Dickinson, Brody King, Clark Connors, all these names that you mentioned. Wouldn't that be a nice little undercard on the Madison Square Garden show? I know I'm hoping and praying. But all this is coming together real nice for the United States to be a hub. To be the hub, at least short term, for New Japan Pro Wrestling. Yeah.
And we've got a loaded episode of Strong next week as we continue with Tag Team Turbulence. So we'll have the semi-finals where it will be Nagata and Narita against the Good Brothers. And then we will also have Violence Unlimited, so Dickinson and Brody King against the West Coast Wrecking Crew. So really exciting there. I expect to see the winning teams being the Good Brothers and Violence Unlimited. I think that'll be a very cool... I don't know where they're going to do the final. Maybe they do it with Resurgence. That'll be a very star-studded final match there. And also, main event Strong Openweight Championship match. Tom Lawler with his third defense against Satoshi Kojima, which, again, I think will be a very good match. I don't think Tom Lawler is going to lose. I think it's going to be a successful defense for him, but I just think it's a great chance to see a match that we never thought we'd see. Who thought we'd be getting Tom Lawler against Satoshi Kojima? But here we are. So very much looking forward to next week's Strong.
Yep. It's going to be good. And like I said, I think it works the other way. Just for a short term, the United States is the destination for New Japan right now. To me, that's I would be more excited to see guys coming over here than everyone hoping and praying that guys make it over to Cork and doing it. Have guys come here. Let's do some buildings. Let's make some money.
All right, well, that will bring a close to things. I also want to wish Eid Mubarak to all our Muslim friends. Hope you're having a good one. And let's close things up. redcircle.com /shows/super-j-cast. We've got some shenanigans. Mally and Esther have just returned home. Discord link in the show notes, at Cobra Kawaii and ProWrestlingTees.com/SuperJcast for our great t-shirts. Big thank you to editor Dan. Find him on Twitter at LousyHero219. Subscribe to the Voices of Wrestling Podcast Network for other great shows. Give us a 5-snake review on iTunes or a one snake review. Both of them equally entertaining to me. Follow us on Twitter at the SuperJcast. Thank you everyone for listening, and goodbye.
Grand Carnival is taking over Kings Island from July 17th through August 1st. Experience the opening celebration at 5 p.m. when the park erupts with sights, sounds, and flavors from all around the world. Join the spectacle of color, a dazzling parade of floats, performers, music, and beats that sweeps across the park. And enjoy unique food, drinks, and fireworks while dancing to music until the park closes. Don't miss the celebration as big as the park. Right now, everyone pays kids' price. Kings Island tickets just $45 online.
If you've been a renter, you know it's stressful to find the perfect place. But Zillow Rentals make it easy. They have filters for pretty much everything, so you can find a rental that's big enough for entertaining your friends, but small enough they won't crash all weekend. Find your sweet spot on ZillowRentals.com.